Welcome to Software Leaders Uncensored with Steve Taplin. Welcome to Software Leaders Uncensored, where tech leaders drop the filters and tell it like it is. I'm your host, Steve Taplin, serial tech entrepreneur, 30 companies deep, failed at 20 of those, one big with 10. This roller coaster of a ride went into my recent book, Fail Hard, Win Big, which was just released this month, July. And I'm proud to say in its first week of release, we hit top selling status for new releases in 4 categories on Amazon. I'm excited. It really talks about how I've used custom software as the game changer for building companies. Now I'm the CEO of Sonatify Technology. We're a nearshore software development firm that helps companies accelerate their software efforts. Today, we are joined by Sheldon Arora out of Plano, Texas. Sheldon is a longtime CEO, tech industry veteran. Sheldon, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Please, if you would, Sheldon, give our listeners a couple-minute overview of the fun journey of your career.
Well, I have a computer science degree, and I started writing code on punch cards. So listen, from punch card, I got the first computer, which was, I think it was Tandy, Commodore, Atari, and then when IBM came out with the PC. By the time I finished, got my computer science degree, we got into the terminal mode where we didn't need the punch cards anymore in my senior year. And then after finishing that, and right in college, I started my first company. And then when I got the computer science degree and went to work, and I actually got a consulting job at a consulting company, writing software. From there, I think I joined a company at that point, General Motors Purchasing. It was the EDS, Electronic Data Systems, and I joined those guys in the early years.
You live near Dallas, Texas, and you're a tech person, so that would be the common migration place, right? Back at that time.
Yep, because I was in Michigan at that time, transitioned here. And then from there, started my own company. It was eSoft Solutions. And then from eSoft Solutions, transitioned to Liquidation Healthcare, then StaffDNA, Staffing Engine, and I think probably another dozen companies I partially own or invested in at the moment.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you have lots of great stories for us on the journeys of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know it's kind of funny, but the book I wrote has been one I've been wanting to write for a long time. And I'm like, do I really want to say I failed at 20 companies? And I took a step back. I'm like, 30 companies, 20 failures, 10 wins. If I was a Major League Baseball player, that would give me a 333 batting average, and that would get me in the Hall of Fame. So I was like, all right. And being able to, vocalize and learn from failures was a big thing for me on how I've had my successes. Have you had a similar journey?
I think anybody who's building business or businesses, right? You're going to have a lot of failures because those scars are the ones that make us better. And like anybody else, same thing has taken place. There's been good days and been dark days. And obviously you have to just persevere and go through the process.
Amen. I'm with you. All right. Tell us about StaffDNA.
It's a technology that we built about 5 years ago, which is really, if you're trying to go find a job, you will take the job that you know about, because either you're using any of the tools that are available like LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, etc., friends and family, but not necessarily all the jobs that you're qualified for, because there's no place where you can go where you can see all jobs, the details, the schedules, the requirements, and pay. So we created a technology in one platform. We will show you all jobs, professions, specialties, locations, and all the details that we talked about. So that's the first technology that we created. And then we created a different technology. We said,
let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
So you've become an aggregator of the job postings on different job sites, so it's all in one? Am I understanding that right?
Okay, that's a good way of saying that. Really, today we're focused on the healthcare side. So we probably have about 20,000 healthcare jobs on our technology platform. And they are from physicians to nursing, to allied. They're from different types of positions, like staff positions, temporary positions, per diem shift positions. They're from hospital settings to doctor's offices to long-term care facilities. So we made all jobs available through our technology platform in one location.
Gotcha.
And so a candidate can go out there, add in professional specialty locations, search for the jobs, look at the details, look at the schedules, look at the pay, and then customize the pay that best meets their family needs. And then apply for the job. You can go then manage your career through the technology platform all in one place. And they're actually our employees. So it's not like we're aggregating jobs from other job boards and we're sending you out somewhere else. So they're our employees to the technology platform. And then we did the same thing from the client side. So the idea is something so simple. We want candidates to be able to find their own job. We want clients to be able to find their own candidate through the technology platform. So that's really what StaffDNA is about. And I think now, as of yesterday, we received 19 patents have been awarded. I think we filed for like 40 some patents so far. So we've got 19 so far.
Wow.
About 2 million downloads, about 20,000 new downloads are coming in a month. So we can just tell it's working really well.
Well, and nothing, certainly from the job seeker side, anything that could make it easier and not have to go to, 20 different places is certainly a big benefit. And then from, the company side too, helping you find better candidates quicker, faster, better.
Right.
Well, that sounds great.
Steve, think about it. We're the most advanced country in the world, and we're still using LinkedIn, for example, Indeed, or Friends and Family to find a job. Imagine if you're in Africa or Middle East or Asia. It's basically go talk to my cousin Vinny. He has a job for you. You take the job that's been given. You take the schedule that's been given. You take the pay that's been given. It may not be the job that you want, but you have to do the job. Imagine if you could get the job that you really wanted. It's really not a job, then it's a hobby, because you're going to be so much happy. Happy people tend to do great work, and the client can recognize that.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, awesome. Well, tell us about some current tech projects you're working on your platform.
All right. So 5 years ago when we built, at that time, we finished everything. And the Fast Company gave us a pretty cool award, and they thought it was a world-changing idea. And at that time, we were thinking about what if we made it so easy for a candidate to enter the information and do their own search and find the job that they match for and apply. Who knows better than the candidate themselves whether they fit that job or not? Because we provide all the details. So about 2 years ago, we started discussing and debating and saying, why do we want the candidate to do the search? And so I can tell you this September, we have an upgrade to our software coming out. And what we're really saying is like this. So when a candidate goes to our technology platform, we will serve you the most qualified jobs without even searching for it. So the AI agent knows so much about you. They know the searches you're doing. They know how much time you're spending looking for a job. They know which alerts you set up. They know what jobs you're taking with us, what jobs you have not taken. We know your resume and your history. The AI agent will go out and feed you the job best match for us. So that's a newest project that's about to come out.
Cool. Is there anyone else doing that out there? I can't think of anywhere I've seen that.
No, there are companies, Steve, that are focused on, but they're really focused on like one aspect, like one industry, one segment. So there's no one out there that took the challenge on. That's in one, like if you download StaffDNA app, without registering, we will show you all this information, including pay, completely transparent, right? People may have done a limited amount of functionality in one area or another, but we tied it all together in one technology.
So is the application primarily used as an app download or from the web or both?
Well, obviously you can get it from Google or Apple Store and download it. You can also do it through the website if you want, but most people they're downloading the app and using it. It's very easy to use. I don't have to say anything. If anybody downloaded and see it, they can see exactly what we created and built. And it's just mind-boggling. And I think most of the people are saying, when are we going to go to the new industry? When are we going to go to a different country to expand this thing as fast as possible?
Well, that's cool. And I'm a guy who sits in front of my computer for 10 to 12 hours a day on Zoom calls and doing work. And knock on wood, I can't remember the last time I've had to look for a job because I've been a creator of companies. So in my mind, it was like, do people want to be on their phone for that versus, being at their computer focused? And that's just coming from a guy who spends too much time in front of his computer. Well, talk to us about your engineering team, how you run your team, kind of the model you go to. It looks like you're physically in an office right now. Tell us more.
So we have been in office even during COVID, except for maybe 2 or 3 months. There was only 2 or 3 months when we went remote. Otherwise, we've always been a company where all employees work out of our office. And initially, when we created the StaffDNA technology and platform, it was done in the US. When we wanted to go out there, ramp it up, and we wanted to go out there and produce a number of different technologies were being created, and we needed a lot more resources, we switched to a little different model. So we decided to go requirements analysis design in the US. So we'll basically mock up everything the way we want to. We'll discuss and debate it. When we think this is ready, Then we will send it offshore for development testing. And when it comes back to US again for user testing, and then it goes back to deployment. So that's the way we have it structured today. So we have a small team of people in the US that are actually the thinkers, the creative people who are working to the detail to see this is a good solution that we need. And we have a large army of people that are actually doing the software development offshore.
Gotcha. Now, you have a computer science degree way back when in the punch cards days. Are you still staying on top of coding and frameworks and all that fun stuff?
No, unfortunately not. I will tell you this, though. I find it very interesting and fun to be involved because it's like, when you write code, you don't know a lot of details. You get more advanced, you get better at it. Then all of a sudden you start to use your skills because you have so much knowledge in problem solving, right? And then eventually you can do things that you never thought you could do before. So from my perspective, I've gone through all of that. Now I'm coming from the business side. So when I'm talking to software developers, engineers, and we're talking in concept, what we want to go build to go finish the vision, to finish our technology. So we can talk about it, whiteboard it out, demo it. So that's about the most level of detail that I go. I will sometimes challenge the engineers. It can be done. You just have to look for a solution because sometimes, they'll come out there and say it can't be done. We know because we've done it before. It can be done. So they just have to search a little bit harder to go find the solution.
And now I'm going to age myself. I had a COBOL programming class that I was required to take as part of my management information systems degree. And I cheated my way through the class. This was long before the days of ChatGPT. And I know I'm not the coder, but I'm pretty good at working with coders and being able to kind of get the most out of them, which it sounds like you're very similar.
Hey, listen, I learned machine language, Basic, Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, all those. And in the old days, you had to know all those languages because you didn't know what the customer was going to ask you, which language to develop your software. Now they talk about, tech stack, this or that. I'm thinking I'm too old for that. Just get me a solution that works and works really well. Just get me a solution that can get me the speed because, thousands of searches are being done on my phone and I want a fast, quick response. Or if I'm searching for something, use the Elasticsearch and give me the response immediately. Or let me scale. Let me deploy a new concept really fast rather than worrying about any of the words and the technology that exists out there. Because every time I talk to engineers, they're talking about something. I'm saying, that's a new acronym. I don't know this one. I don't know how you feel about all the new acronyms that are out there that people are using. I gave up.
And the evolution of AI over the past 2 years, how it's grown, how rapidly it's changing. Even the most technical of people, it's pretty darn hard to keep up with the changes that are going on. It's going fast and furious. Definitely an exciting time.
If I was a software engineer, I think that I couldn't go to sleep. It's so much interesting. It's like when we're talking about now of what is possible with AI, it's like mind-boggling because I think that the mind is just racing so fast. How do we go out there and create and build this thing? It's such an exciting time. If I was a software engineer, I would be so excited right now.
One of the biggest changes we've seen is the ability to create prototypes and MVPs now. You used to have to spend months and probably too much money to then go do user testing, make sure there's the right acceptance. And, now it's a matter of days or weeks of getting a solid prototype working to be able to do that. That's really changed the game.
Completely agree. I can ask for something. I say, will this concept work? The next day in the afternoon, the engineers can sit down and show you a demo and say, okay, it'll work under these conditions, not this. But it's a quick and dirty prototype and not robust. But that's how fast you can see whether the concept would work or not work.
So as a CEO of a tech-enabled platform, what's the biggest challenges you're facing today?
I think that when StaffDNA started the first year, I think we did 2 million in business, then 12, then 35, then 135 million. It's the rate that we've been growing. People that we've hired, 6 months out of college, we're promoting them a team leader management. I can tell you my number one problem has been developing leaders fast enough to keep up with this. Because what's occurring is that you're growing at the rate that I'm talking about. We've taken the number one fastest growing spot now in many rankings. We're not able to get the consistency with better leadership experience. So that's the number one challenge we've had. How do we train people? Because no one taught me when I went to college about leadership skills, how to solve people problems. We knew how to solve technology problems, and people I think technology problems are easier to solve than solve people problems. They have a mind of their own kind of thing. So it's a lot of trial and error, and it takes longer to develop those skills than it does, I think, even learning computer science.
Well, and I think the way you described it, that's a hell of a good problem, that you're growing so damn fast and your revenues are shooting up so fast that it's hard to keep up with building the right talent. Those are good problems.
Agreed. I think we've averaged probably 15 to 20 new hires a month. And we've done that now for over 5 years, except for a small brief of time when we weren't hiring anybody because of COVID.
That's absolutely amazing.
Because remember, Steve, because we were in the healthcare business. So in fact, what happened was when we launched the technology, it blew up so fast because you could see immediately because the volume of transaction, because they were needing so many healthcare workers so fast, it was absolutely crazy. So it made this technology so much, we tested it out in a rapid mode environment. If there were any issues, flaws, we had to go solve this almost overnight because it was impacting so many people out in the field. So it made the product so much more robust.
Nice. What's one brutal lesson you wish you would have learned earlier in your career?
You know, my dad gave me the advice. Other people gave me the advice, like, make sure you have enough cash. And I can tell you, you can never have enough cash when you're building a business. And the old saying, cash is king, is absolutely true. And I could give you a real example. When we were building the company, things were going well. We had sufficient amount of cash. And at that time, every banker, every company wanted to come out there and say, hey, do you need money? You want to borrow money? We want to loan you money because your financials look really good. And we said, no, we don't need any.
When you don't need it, everybody comes to you. And when you do need it, you're chasing them.
That's absolutely what I was going to say. And of course, after 9/11, I burned through all the cash because you wanted to keep those people on the payroll. And the business started to improve because now you need growth capital. And we went out to the bankers again. I said, okay, now we'll take the money. They said, your financials are not as good as they look, and you can't get it. So I would say it's really a very basic, true advice, which is just pay attention to your cash. Because if you run out of cash, you have no company.
That is good advice. And I do have to laugh. When you don't need it, everybody's knocking down your door. When you do need it, all of a sudden it's reversed and you're chasing them.
Yes.
So, where do you see things going here within the next 5 years for your company?
I think we finished the technology roadmap that, at least from the vision perspective, thought perspective, design perspective, the last few pieces are coming off from the development shortly to us, and we'll launch them in August and September. And now it's about going out there and taking this technology platform and telling the world. So for example, now it's all about putting a lot of dollars in marketing to tell the world. So we became the title sponsor for Cure Bowl. It's called the StaffDNA Cure Bowl, college football game. We're looking for more national sponsorship because we want to now tell the world, if you're going to look for a job in healthcare, use our technology, find it. We're going to pay you more. It's going to be all self-service based, and you're going to get all the options, and you're going to get the schedules and the pay package the way you want to construct it that best meets the family. We want to tell everyone that we exist out there and getting ready to go launch another industry in the US first to see if we can expand outside of the healthcare industry. And then long term, we have game plan to go out to other countries.
Fantastic. And what are some of the biggest hurdles that you have to overcome here for your next steps?
I think we have decent amount of cash. So at the moment, we're acquiring certain assets, technology assets that can shore up where we need to shore up, that can give us a little bit more automation that we need out there. And like in the last 3 months, I think we purchased 2 companies, and we have 3 or 4 more on the deck that we want to go do that. To go into other industries and other countries, we need one partner. So one big partner that we can use that can help us go do that, because otherwise going to another industry is another learning challenge, right? And it will take too long. So I think we're looking for a partner, and we hired Wells Fargo advisors to help us go find the right partner that can take us to other industries and other countries. So that's the new challenge that's coming up.
So let's dive a little into the acquisitions you've done. I'm a big proponent of acquisitions as a great way to grow. Throughout my career, I've done 11 acquisitions. My current company, I started by acquiring another. And there's definitely the good, bad, and the ugly of acquisitions. I know that probably for every 30 companies I've had a letter of intent with, maybe I close one because all of a sudden everything that they gave us prior to the deep dive due diligence seem to have changed or morphed or not been 100% correct. What's been your experiences? It sounds like you've done a lot of acquisitions.
Okay, so we've chased 4. 3 out of the 4 we got done. 1 we did not.
Okay.
I think it's in bankruptcy, so it's still a possibility that we can get those assets, but I'm not sure it'll happen. There's a number of other ones that we're looking for, but we're looking for something very strategic. We have these spots that we need to go fill. I'll give you an example. A couple of these are technology, like one is not technology. So let's say that we create a technology platform where if any healthcare worker is looking for shift work, like I want to pick up a shift at a doctor's office, I want to pick up a shift at a hospital, right? Like a 12-hour shift. We do volume of business through our technology, but we want to go out there and acquire another company that can actually bring larger transactions. Because I think what we create and build is what we want to do thousands of transactions a day through this technology. So we're trying to acquire some assets that we can run their transaction through their technology platform to make sure it's really sure. Or like, for example, on the physician side, the latest thing that we launched is advanced practice. So that's like nurse practitioners, physician assistants kind of people. That's the latest thing that we implemented in our technology. Well, we built the technology the way we think it should be built. Then we said, we need to go make sure it really works. So we launched that offering. And now we're thinking of, can we find another company that we can acquire that will help us run a lot of transactions through the technology and make sure it really does work. On the technology side is the ATS, the core software that we're using to run the business, to run the recruiting and sales business. We wanted to go out there and acquire something that was completely ours, and because it needs to be end-to-end ours. It's like Apple. The reason Apple works so efficiently is because they own everything one end to the other. So we wanted to go do that, and we did that. So I think there are going to be some pieces that are just specific to what we're looking for on technology side, and some companies specifically to help us prove that the technology works, so we can increase the volume of transactions.
I know in the tech space, and let's pretend you're not one of the rare AI unicorns out there that are getting insane valuations. There's kind of 2021 was where tech valuations outside of the unicorn AI ones were kind of at its height. And I've seen a lot of tech businesses have a hard time accepting that valuations aren't what they were. Have you run into that?
Absolutely true, because there are certain assets that we wanted to go buy, because in healthcare specifically, during COVID, everyone was doing really well. Everyone was making a lot of profit, because remember, there was a pipeline of dollars coming from Washington, D.C. to all the hospital systems, to all the states to use to fund the healthcare workers that they needed, right?
Yep.
So the valuation was crazy at that time. And since then, most of the transactions, M&A activity has slowed down in the healthcare industry. Now is coming back because the valuation went so far down. Companies that took the money during that time are having difficulty raising second and third round of money because the valuations are very different, and they're struggling at the moment. And that's why we're looking for certain assets, because we just happen to get lucky and we have decent amount of cash available to go out and acquire these assets. So the valuation came down quite a bit. I've been told, in fact, just yesterday I met with our advisors, and they were saying valuation stabilized and they're starting to increase again.
Gotcha. Interesting. Sheldon, thank you so much for getting uncensored with us today. You are one of those rare leaders who doesn't just dream big, but you actually make it happen. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I wish you all the best for your growth plans with StaffDNA and then the next ventures that you do. Before we wrap, any final no BS advice you have for other founders and tech leaders out there?
The world is so beautiful. We still have the opportunity to make an impact and change the world. And I just want all of us to go out there and go do that.
Awesome advice. Thank you so much, Sheldon. That's it for this episode of Software Leaders Uncensored. I'm Steve Taplin. If you like the show, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you didn't like it, well, kiss my butt. Tell your competitors about it. They could probably use the help. Remember to fail hard, win big, and make sure you build what matters. Till next time.
Thank you.
That's a wrap. Another great episode of Software Leaders Uncensored. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun doing this show. I love talking with great tech leaders. As a side note, if you're interested, check out my new book, Fail Hard, Win Big. This is the story of how I built 30 companies, failed on 20, and turned 10 into multi-million-dollar wins. The common thread with all of them was custom software. Also, if you need software development help out there, my company, Sonatify Technology, we deliver world-class software development engineers out of Latin America. We have a solid track record of helping companies launch better products and faster. Thanks again for listening. Appreciate it and appreciate you.